Hi, it's Chris from UCW, and I'm here with Ian Ferguson of the CU Podcast, and more famously, Extra Napkins.
Yes.
Welcome to 5 Questions.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
I'm happy to have you. It's been wonderful seeing you.
First off, CU Podcast.
Yes.
Pretty popular.
Sure. I guess.
You guys do have a following, and now you guys are kind of seen as an influencer in the video game space.
We have some more information. We're privy to some insider info.
We have some I think about the importance, basically, of what I'm saying.
Sure, like what weight does it carry for you?
I think more about what I say lately than I did back then. I was more nervous and more concerned about what people thought about me in the early days of the podcast, which is weird because I wasn't really watching what I was saying at all. And as we got more and more popular, it wasn't like I felt like I needed to tone myself down. It was that when I'm just like shooting off the handle and spouting off, people take that more seriously than I realized. When we first started the podcast, it was, a couple hundred listeners, and I felt like most people understood me and who I was, and they understood that. When I got extra fired up about something, I was usually joking.
Calmly explained why I didn't like it, and I still to this day just get shit comments.
Really?
Yeah.
Or something
Sure.
like that. But that changes over time, and that changes with a larger audience. And so, yeah, I am a little bit more measured in my responses these days, I think.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
So I want to do this, and we were talking about a fast move. There it is. This is Yokoi Kids. This is his badly named zine.
Yes.
But only zine. When you think of a zine, it conjures thoughts of the photocopies with the staple in the corner. This is a really nice book.
Thank you.
Tell us how this kind of came to be, because this is really, really nice.
I appreciate that.
For what you were able to come up with and release, especially at your price point. Everything's it's wonderful.
Most of the credit goes to my buddy Rick. Who him and I used to always play Game Boy games, and we'd chat about them back and forth on Twitter.
Sure.
So we decided to just make like a loose Game Boy of the Month club, Game Boy Game of the Month club. So we started it off, and people started contributing, and the whole thing is like we didn't want just reviews, we didn't need just YouTube videos. We wanted, people could send in recipes, or they could, make up a stupid song, or draw a comic, or make some art.
Awesome.
And that's what we really liked, and it's popular enough. And when we got to the end of like 2 years worth of it, we decided to do the annual. I mean, it's not an annual; it's a 2 year. Whatever that would be.
A 2-year roll.
A two-year roll.
Year roll. I believe that's the word.
Year roll.
That's
the word.
I'm going to stake my English degree on that one.
So we decided to throw something together. There's a lot of exclusive stuff in there that was never on the website. We had a lot of artists do new art for it, and we threw it together. And Rick does a lot of zines. He's big in the punk scene. Zines are a huge deal, so he's really nailed the art of putting together a zine. And a lot of the zines he puts together, they're nice looking, but they're the smaller, floppier zines.
Sure.
When we ended up looking at all of the content we had, we chose for a binding, and all of a sudden it looks way nicer than your average zine.
It's a book.
Yeah.
It stopped being a zine.
It's a book.
It stopped being a zine about, 18 pages ago.
In.
Yeah. It really is an incredible thing, and we'll link certainly to where you can get them.
Yeah, you can still get them online. All the money goes to charity.
Which is excellent.
All of it. So, yeah.
All right. Game Boy fan.
Yes.
Your favorite Game Boy game that isn't on those lists? You must play by, before you die kind of lists. Give me some deep cuts.
My gut reaction is to say Burger Time Deluxe.
Okay.
It's a small portable version of Burger Time, but by shrinking the game down, they made the game, I think, more accessible to more people. It's a lot easier to wrap your head around smaller levels than it is to kind of get into. I know a lot of people who have trouble getting into Burger Time. They play it like a Pac-Man game.
It's not.
It's not. You cannot play it like a Pac-Man
You will die.
game. You will die immediately. And the way Burger Time Deluxe is set up, it's just it's really great at kind of easing you into the game. And then the other one I'm really big into, and it's actually the game of the month for Yokoi Kids right now, is Bubble Ghost, which is based on an old Amiga PC game.
Okay.
And it's a very simple game where you control a little ghost, and you blow a bubble through rooms in the castle, and you can't pop it. That's it.
You just can't pop the bubble?
Just can't pop the bubble. You got to make sure it stays alive. You just got to get it through the castle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's like candles.
I was missing the mechanic.
Oh yeah,
there.
no, I'm sorry.
Like, you blow a bubble, you can't pop it, game over.
there's like candles and spikes and all sorts of traps. So you just got to blow it around.
My gut would have been like Hyanko Alien. Which
That's a good one.
I got that as a kid randomly. I assume it was a gift that was on sale somewhere.
It's a great game, though.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it is.
You just dig the hole, bury the alien, run away from the hole.
Yeah, apparently that was like a whole genre of games back in the day that was made. It was like called like the
Bury
pit,
the guy in
yeah,
the-
the pit in the ground type genre. Like it actually had like a genre name early on. You know, there was maze games and whatnot, and then there was like Hyanko likes, and it was like dig a hole types. So anyways, yeah, it's a
Awesome.
good one.
All right. Extra napkins.
Yes.
How's that doing? Are you seeing any kind of like crossover, like fans from CU coming over?
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing with that?
I think a lot of the fans are crossover CU fans. Initially, especially, I think a lot of them were crossover fans.
Okay.
But one of the things that I do now that's kind of fun for me is I will go to the Extra Napkins Twitter account.
Sure.
And I'll click on the followers, and I'll see how many don't follow me. Because we don't ever mention, really, I think we might mention at the top who we are,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to see the people who are following the podcast because they follow the podcast and not because they follow myself or John. And now we've got a few hundred of those random people who I have no idea who they are, and they don't follow me and they don't follow John, so like they're just into the podcast. We're reaching outside of the well that we were already drawing from, finally. And we're doing our first convention appearance in Florida. In Fort Walton Beach in November.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a small convention called Really Rad Weekend. The guy who throws it is really nice. He invited Pat and I out for the CU podcast, but Pat's doing a bunch of conventions in a row.
Sure.
So he's going to be wiped out, and he couldn't do it. The dude ended up, like, the week after, started listening to Extra Napkins, listened to, like, 13 hours of it, he said, with his wife while driving around over a weekend. And, he made like a Sunday kind of like based on things we talk about on Extra Napkins for his arcade bar, you know, as like a special, I think it was one night, and he told us about it, so we mentioned it on the podcast, and John was like, well, he could have us, and that very weekend he booked us, so
For sure.
yeah, that was that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Fifth, final question.
Yeah.
Extra napkins, food podcast.
Yeah.
You like food.
I do.
Good. See, that was a statement. That wasn't a question.
Yeah. I'm just agreeing.
We're in Portland.
Yeah.
We're having fun. We're in a hotel room together. I need an adult. Hit me. Best food in Portland. What do you got?
So I really like Lardo, which is not a surprise. You like Lardo a lot. Lardo's a great sandwich place. They've got some duck fat
So
fries there.
The dirty fries.
The dirty fries, yeah. Everything we've had there has been phenomenal. We usually go and split a few sandwiches, as you
Sure.
know, and it's great. Some stuff that I really like in Portland, though, that maybe might be new. These are mostly well-known local spots, but I love Frank's Noodle House.
Okay.
Really good, fresh hand-pulled noodles. Very simple menu, but good shit all around. And then we went to a breakfast place 2-3 days ago called Gravy.
Oh.
And there was a 20-minute wait.
Fine.
Worth every 20 minutes. Worth all the minutes that I waited. On weekends, it's like an hour wait, which honestly, for a good restaurant, I don't know that
I'll
even
wait an
care.
hour all
I'll
day.
wait an hour. But it was fantastic. And I had corned beef hash that was just out of this world. Vani got, my lovely wife Vani, got a oatmeal brulee. It was like banana oatmeal brulee. And basically it was this like really thick oatmeal, and then they covered it in brown sugar and then torched the top. And I tried some, and it was like eating banana bread batter.
Incredible.
It was great. And then our friend got the Monte Cristo. And I did not try the Monte Cristo with everything, but basically it was just 2 of their pieces of French toast, which were about that thick. And they put like the egg and the ham and the cheese and stuff on top. But I tried the French toast, and the French toast was out of this world.
That sounds awesome.
So that's where I'm at.
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
So going to Florida tomorrow.
Yes, we're doing Florida tomorrow,
That
absolutely.
sounds like a plan.
It does.
And thank you all so much for coming in, listening. I will link everything in the description for what Ian's up to, the Yokoi Kids, his podcasts, and whatnot. Thank you all so much for coming out. Be well. Take care.
That was fun.
Yeah, not bad.